So now, ladies and gentlemen, live and in colour, it's Mr. Wayne Lovejuice.
The other day I produced a Louis, had a track with an interesting chappie who said that the YouTube algorithms really aren't that happy. If a channel only broadcasts once a week, so we decided we could texture whenever we've got a piece of news in our new book on the Track Extra.
As anybody who watched last Saturday's show will now be aware, although I still don't have a computer and I'm still in the throes of moving house, things are slowly getting better. My old friend and boss for Gonzo Multimedia, Rob Ailing, is fronting me a new computer which will arrive sometime in the next week. And most importantly of all, I've worked out how to edit videos on my iPad. And so here is the second of the scheduled videos that I'm editing on the iPad. It's an episode of On the Track Extra, which, for those of you not in the know, is a show which we do every Wednesday evening as an adjunct, which I think is the word, to the main show On the Track of Unknown Animals, which goes out on Saturday afternoons. This episode, I'm throwing it over completely to CFZ Canada's very own Dave Scott and his charming and very talented daughter Carol, who have done this show, this episode, about the last thylacine. Enjoy.
Look closely at this film. It is the only confirmed moving image we have of a creature that no longer walks the earth. This is the thylacine, better known as the Tasmanian tiger. But he is not a tiger. He is a marsupial. A mother's pouch once carried him, just like a kangaroo. It is September 7th, 1936. The sun is setting over the Hobart Zoo on the island of Tasmania. He paces the perimeter of his cage. He does not know it yet, but he is the absolute last of his kind, the end of a lineage that stretched back millions of years. How did we get here? Well, the thylacine had gone extinct on the Australian mainland several thousand years ago, possibly due to a variety of factors including human population growth, an abrupt change in the climate, and competition from dingoes. Several thousand still roamed Tasmania's forest. Then came the 19th century. European settlers arrived with flocks of sheep. When livestock went missing, the thylacine was blamed. The government placed a bounty on their heads. £1 per adult carcass, 10 shillings for pups. Private companies offered even more. A systematic extermination began, driven by fear, greed, and a total misunderstanding of the ecosystem. Humans wiped them out. By the time protection laws were finally introduced, it was too late. The final confirmed hunt of a wild thylacine happened in 1930. The law passed 6 years later, just 59 days before this very evening. While the popular understanding of the endling's final night has been that he died from neglect, locked out of sheltered sleeping quarters on a cold night, it is likely that he died of old age. The thylacine was estimated to live between 5 and 7 years, although some captive specimens live for 9 years. The endling displayed reports of old age and reports from visitors. Even critics of the zoo, who would be inclined to highlight neglect or abuse, noted that he had fretted itself to death. The more visceral description of the endling's final night may be the one that caught people's attention, but it is worth noting that the simple conclusion, that he died of old age, still ends with him alone, with no mate or children, no vast forest to run through, and no future for his species. Much of this video summarizes comprehensive information by Leonard and Slightholme in a 2023 article in the Australian Zoologist. The authors state their reasoning for such a thorough overview of the Endling. For a species whose extinction was hastened by human interventions, we have a moral obligation to preserve as much factual detail as possible about the thylacine. The thylacine was denied a right to exist. The Endling was denied life and having his history known. Humanity, in its ignorance and anger, snuffed out the species.